Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. How's everybody doing? I hope you guys are doing amazing. So today we're going to be talking about how I was able to move at 19 with no job and not that much money. So I am super excited. Not only did I move out of my house at 19, but I moved across the country because I used to live in Costa Rica. To be quite honest with you, I have already made this video. David and I used to have a YouTube channel in 2018 and I filmed this video, literally the same concept. I'm gonna be getting ready today while telling you my journey, but I feel like when I filmed this video, I wasn't as comfortable with the camera as I am right now, and I was a little bit nervous and it was kind of a mess, and I couldn't concentrate. And I feel like I am way better at speaking and like expressing myself with the camera now than I was in 2018. So was it 2018? Either 2018 or 19. I can't even remember. But so I wanted to remake this video because I think it's a very educational video and I think it's very helpful. I know a lot of people want to move out of their house for various reasons, so I want to talk about what I did and how I was able to make it work. And yeah, so I'm gonna get ready while I speak. Hopefully this turns out better than my last video. So I'm just gonna take my glasses off just so you know I can't see anything. So basically a little bit of backstory. I was born, me starting with how I was born in Jersey, and when I was 4 years old we moved to Costa Rica because that's where literally my whole family is from, Costa Rica. So we moved there and I lived there up until I was 12 years old. Now once I was 12 years old we moved to Florida because my mom got married, and then we lived here. The thing is, my mom always wanted to move back to Costa Rica. She didn't like Florida, so her goal was that once I graduated from high school we would move back to Costa Rica and it would be this whole beautiful life, which was a great plan. But once it came to that time, once we moved in like June of 2017, but in March of 2017 I met David, which is my boyfriend right now. So I moved to Costa Rica and we were doing long distance, but this sounds so bad, but I really, I love this guy, so I wanted to move back here. Also, another thing why I wanted to move back to Florida was because I was going to college in Costa Rica, but I just didn't see myself there. I grew up here, so all my traditions and customs and all of that are from here, and like I just didn't see myself growing up there with somebody and building a future with someone there, and like working there, I didn't see it happening for me. So I really just wanted to move back. And another thing was, my goal was to always move back and like go to school there, get my degree, and then move back here. But as time progressed, I started realizing that my degree was not going to work here. Sometimes when you go to school in other countries and you want to move back with your degree, they won't accept it, and you actually have to go to school for more to get another degree that proves that you know what you're doing, even though you already have a degree from another country. So I was like, it's pointless for me to stay here and go to school here, and literally like, what am I going to school for? Because I'm gonna have to come here and go to school again, so I'm literally wasting 2 years of my life. I was going to a private school over there, so they were already teaching me everything that I needed to know for my career, and it was supposed to be just a 2-year program. If you want to know what I was going to school for, it was for an ESOL teacher, which is English as a second language, because I actually took ESOL for a couple years of my life when I moved here because I did not know any English. Anyway, so that's what I was going to school for, and I just thought it was so pointless for me to go to school there if it wasn't going to work out. Like, can you imagine I went to school, like college, that whole time, and then I came here and they're like, sorry, you have to go back to school. No, crazy. I actually ended up going to college there for 2 semesters before I decided to move back here. So David and I had always talked about like me moving back here. Long distance totally sucked. Oh my god, I'm sorry if you're doing long distance. I feel for you because it's literally so bad. That was my least favorite experience of my whole life, I think. So we did long distance for almost a year, I believe, but we always talked about me moving back and like moving in together and like all that stuff that you talk about with your boyfriends when you're like 19. So I was like, okay, like, you know, let's explore this, like let's make a plan and I can move there. So we actually started talking about this in March of 2018, and I ended up moving here. Well, actually we started talking about this in like the beginning of the year, like February of 2018, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start saving money, right? I'm gonna start saving money and then I can move there next year, you know, to make it a little bit quicker and stuff, just because I wanted us to like save money and all of that. Here's the thing, in Costa Rica it's really hard to get a job. Like I applied at several places and I was not able to get any jobs. So I have an uncle who actually makes clothes. He literally is like a designer in Costa Rica, and he makes clothes and sells it around the country. So I decided to start selling clothes. So what I would do is I would pick up like different dresses that I liked from him, and I would go around my pueblo, my little neighborhood, and I'll talk to people that I know. I started selling clothes, and then I started making profit off of the clothes, and with that I was able to gather up $800. Mind you, my mom had no idea what was going on through my head and what I was planning, right? And then it wasn't until I talked to my dad one day, they're not together, I talked to my dad one day and I was like, hey, like I really want to move to Florida, but I don't know how to bring it up to my mom, because my mom has always been about, you need to go to college, you can't be with anybody, like you need to go to college and study and become somebody, and like don't let any boy interfere with that. So I told my dad first, and my dad was like, well, just tell your mom. And I was like, no, like I don't know. And I'm also very not, like I hate confrontation. Nah, cannot be me. Anyways, my dad ended up telling my mom everything, and she was pissed. Like I've never seen my mom so mad. She's like, I know you're not gonna go to school, which she was right. She's like, you're gonna give your life away for some dude that you kind of just met, which she was right. So she was kind of right about all of that. But again, it's like when I think about it, I am so happy that I moved here, because I am not my mom. I am my own person. Just like you, if you're thinking of moving out, you are your own person and you need to make your own life and build your own path. No one can do that for you. If you want to get out of a situation, you should, because no one should be controlling what you do and having a say in your life. Because, well, I mean, if you're a child, I guess, but if you're an adult, you can make your own choices. You are entitled to make your own choice. Anyways, my mom was pissed. There was this whole thing, and then she actually ended up calling David's mom. She was pissed too. The idea was that I was gonna move in with them, and then once their lease ended, David and I would get our own place. So my mom was pissed, whatever. David bought me my plane ticket to come here, which was very nice of him. That was so nice of him. He bought me my plane ticket, and I had $800 to move here. That's it. I just had $800 in my pocket. I didn't have a job. I also only took one luggage when I moved here. I only took one luggage. I fit my whole life, and I will always say this, like I was able to fit my whole life in just one luggage. That's it. That's all I had. I didn't want to pay for extra. I left so many things behind. I left so much clothes and items, which honestly I don't even remember most of the things that I left behind, so at the end of the day it doesn't really matter. Oh, another thing that I did to be able to make money was I sold my clothes. So a lot of the clothes that I didn't take, I would have garage sales in my house and sell my clothes to people in Costa Rica so that I can have money to move here. So basically what I'm trying to say is, if you're trying to move, I think you should save up money and find little side hustles or jobs, especially if you live with your parents. If you live with your parents and your parents are not making you pay for anything, I recommend for you to be saving all your money, everything that you can. Literally save it. Don't go out. Save your money so that you can either move out into an apartment or put a down payment on a house. I think that's the best thing ever you could do. So I came here with $800, and I was supposed to actually get a job at a hospital where David's mom, where she works, and that ended up not working out, so I didn't have a job. So I decided to start looking, and I ended up getting a job at Jason's Deli. And so I had a job, but I didn't have a car, and it was a little bit hard. So I was Ubering for quite a long time, to be honest. I was actually Ubering and getting rides from David and walking to work and home for about a year. That's how long it took me to get a car. I think, yeah, that's how long it took me to get a car, which for me, I think it took me longer just because the money that I was getting, I was saving up, and I was sending some of that money to Costa Rica, and I was also traveling with David. Like, we went to a couple places before I got my car. We went to Tennessee and we went to the Bahamas on a cruise. So like, I could have gotten my car way faster if I wasn't doing all of that, but it took me a little bit of time to get my car. Once I got here, everything with my mom was fine, and we are actually so much closer than we ever been before, because it's just, I appreciate her and I'm so grateful for her now more than when I was living with her. And I think that's the case with a lot of people, is that you become closer with your parents once you move out of their house. A lot of people have a like really toxic relationship with their parents when they live with them, but then once you move away and you're not seeing like their mess or like their flaws every single day, you just feel so much better and you're able to be grateful and appreciate your parents so much more. I literally call my mom twice a day, every single day. Sometimes I don't call her on my days off because I want her to get a chance to miss me. But I call my mom like every day and I talk to her all the time because I miss her so much. She's in Costa Rica. But she was pissed when I wanted to move here, which now I think she is kind of grateful that I did, to be honest, because I am so much better here. I really am. I haven't needed my mom since I moved here. I've been able to make it every single like month, so I'm really grateful. I've been able to do a lot of things since I moved here, which, I mean, I've been able to get my car, which that took a lot of saving. If I'm being honest, I worked at Jason's Deli and they overworked me. Like, I used to work so much and I used to get paid $9.20, $9.50 I think is how much I got paid, and it was like really, it was a lot of work. And so I got that job and then I started working somewhere else. At one point I had 3 jobs. If you want to know, I was only paying $250 for my rent because we were all sharing an apartment, and I was paying for like my own food and stuff like that. I think a lot of the money that I spent were on Uber rides because I didn't have a car. I also used to walk from my job to home sometimes. It was a lot of, you know, it was a struggle for a little bit, but I think it just made me so much stronger. And I got my car, and then in 2019 David and I got a house, which is this lovely house that we have right here, and we just been doing really good. I've been saving a lot of money. I've been able to do a lot of stuff since I moved out of my house, and I'm just grateful that I moved here and I'm not necessarily moved out of my parents' house, but that I moved to Florida. Honestly, if my parents were still here, I think I would still be living with my parents because I think it's great. I think living with your parents, it's really good. You get to save a lot of money. Like, for a financial point of view, it's amazing to live with your parents, especially if they don't have you like paying rent and stuff. Dude, if your parents don't have you paying rent, stay with them. Stay with your parents, because you can save so much money, and instead of moving out to an apartment, you can actually save enough money to put a down payment on a house so that you don't have to rent. I think that buying a house is so much better than renting an apartment, because once you buy a house, it's like that house is yours and it's kind of an investment. You can either sell it or rent it out in the future, get another house and rent this one out, you know what I'm saying? So I think that it's a great thing. But yeah, my tips for you definitely have to be save money, save a lot of money, make sure that you have everything that you need in order to move out, because the last thing you want is to move out and then have to move back in with your parents. And I mean, that's okay. Like, that's always okay. It's good if it doesn't go right. It's fine. Like, you will live, but that's why I say be prepared. Moving out is no joke. There's a lot of bills, there's a lot of things that you have to pay for and take care of, but it gets better. Like, it's just, I don't know, you get to be by yourself, get some peace of mind, and sometimes it's better than being with your parents. I actually had posted up a poll on my Instagram story for you guys to ask me questions about me moving out and like how I did it and stuff like that. So I'm gonna be reading those questions. So first question was, why did you move out of there? I think the reason, well, first of all, I don't want to like trick myself into thinking that I moved here for a better future, because I even said that I was going to come here and go to college, which I didn't do that. I ended up not going to college. I'm basically a college dropout. I went to college for 2 semesters and then I was like, yeah, I'm gonna come here and go to college and it's gonna be great, but that didn't happen. I didn't go to college here, and honestly, I am okay with that. College is not for everybody. I'm not saying don't go to college and drop out of college, but college is not for everybody, and I much rather be doing other things than going to college. Like, because I didn't go to college, I was able to build an apartment and an Airbnb in Costa Rica from sending money over there, and I was able to get my car. I was able to travel. I've been traveling to New York, Costa Rica, Tennessee, Bahamas. You know, like, I feel like if I went to college, I wouldn't have been able to do half of those things, because college is so expensive, especially here in America. It's insane how expensive it is, and I would have been working and going to college. Like, that's not it. Like, if my parents were here, maybe college would have been a good idea for me, because I could have live with them, but living on my own and going to college was just not something I could do. I moved here because, first of all, like I said, I don't want to trick myself. I think David had a lot to do with me moving here, just because I was so set on being with him. I do think I love David. First of all, I've been with this kid since I was 18. I am 22 now, by the way, and we've been living together since I was 19. I love him to death. I do think both of us were extremely young to be moving in with each other. I wish we would have waited a little bit, but I feel like we have grown together and become such amazing people, and like our values line up and we're just doing really good. Like I feel like we're closer than ever, so I don't regret it. I'm fine. And also my plan was always to move back, so I did it sooner. My degree wouldn't have worked here anyway, so it would have been pointless. So yeah, that's why I moved out. So that was question number 1. Next question was, how could you afford it? Did you have a degree? No, I didn't have a degree. I didn't have a degree at all. I didn't even get my AAs. Like, I'm not, honestly, and I am not ashamed of that. Like, I'm just, before I used to be so sad when people ask me like, oh my god, are you going to college? And I would have to be like, no, I'm not. And they're like, why? I'm like, this is not for me. So no, I don't have an AA, and the reason I was able to afford it was side hustles, literally selling clothes in Costa Rica and selling my own clothes and just saving up everything that I could. So if you do have a job, save at least, if you can save your whole paycheck, save your whole paycheck, and if not, save at least half of it so that you're able to move comfortably out of your house. That's my recommendation, is just save. That's how I was able to do it. And also I had a lot of help from David, but if you're someone that doesn't have help from somebody else, definitely save more and be prepared to be spending money on things that you didn't think you would ever be spending money on. While it is expensive to move out, it's also very possible and it's very doable. I always think about it and I'm like, if I was able to do it, anybody can do it, and that's just the reality of it. Next question was, how was it when you moved in with David? It was very challenging just because we're very different people, and when I moved in with him, he lived in a very small apartment, so there wasn't a lot of space for all my stuff, and we were kind of crowded for a while. And also, like, we were just two different people. You truly don't know a person till you move in with them, so we got to see the good, the bad, and the ugly, but at the end of the day, like, we're good. And it's just so nice to be able to live with him and wake up with him and all of that. I do want to make a whole video on what it was like to move in with my boyfriend. I think that's very interesting for everybody that wants to move in with their boyfriends or even like their best friends. Like, all right, last question is, did it take you a while to adapt to moving in with your boyfriend? It did. I don't know. I think so. I mean, it's just, we also had a lot of challenges. Like, I didn't have a car, so David had to give me a ride, and that was very challenging. And like I said, we were very cramped and stuff, so it did take a little bit. I would say maybe, like, we were fine, but like maybe a year to fully be able to like live and not argue, and like, you know, because like once you move in together, it's like the arguments are different. Like, you're not arguing about stupid things, like you're arguing about house stuff, and no one wants to argue about that. Anyways, you guys, my camera overheated and it died, and I just finished my makeup look. This is what we look like today. Yeah, that was it for this video. I mean, if you want to move out, I wish you the best of luck to you. You got this. You will do amazing. You will be just fine. And you know what's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work out. I mean, you're going to be okay. I promise you that. But yeah, if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comment section. I would love to answer all of your questions. You guys know that I am here 100% for you, and if I can do anything to help you, I am honestly there for you. If you like videos like this, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I love, you know, just making videos for you guys. I will be making a video about how it was like moving in with David, and maybe even possibly how we were able to get our house. So yeah, you guys, I love you so much. I hope you loved this video. I'll see you on my next one.